Hey guys, do you have trouble with your English listening? I have a lot of students who tell me I can understand most of what you're saying, but I'm not 100% sure. If you have trouble with your English listening, it's going to become harder and harder for you to keep an English conversation going. I also have some students who tell me that I can understand you, Akbar, but when it comes to other English speakers, I don't know what's going on. Why is this? If you have trouble with your English speaking and you're ready to learn 5 steps that can help you improve, how about let's get into it right now? Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is find a video or a podcast, and you want to make sure that it's something that you're really interested in, and this is going to be very important. This way, it won't feel like you're working so hard to learn something. If you find something that you really like, you can also make the connections easier when it comes to your English understanding. Each topic has a set of words or language that is associated with, and this is going to make it easier for you to draw those connections. A topic that is interesting to you will make it more fun when you're learning. Also, think about how good it's going to feel when you can really understand a topic that you love. So if someone is talking about sports, especially basketball or movies, I can talk about it for days because these are topics that I really love, so I've never run out of anything to say. I have also thought about these topics a lot. So even if somebody's talking about these topics to me in Japanese, I won't have any problems talking about this. So I want you to think about something that you really love. Think of a topic that you really enjoy talking about, thinking about, and being involved in, and that's what kind of podcast or video you want to start with first. Okay, and now, once you have your topic, the podcast or video that you're interested in listening to, we're gonna move on to the next stage. Okay guys, now let's move on to the next step. So while you're listening to the podcast or video, I want you to write down those timestamps on the parts that you have no clue about what's going on. You don't need to write word for word what you think is happening or try to jot down what you think is going on, but I just want you to make a note of that timestamp. For example, at 2 minutes, wasn't sure what happened here, and then keep continuing on with whatever you're listening to. Just take a quick note of where it started and the part that you didn't understand, and then move on. This way you can keep listening to the rest of the video or the episode, and you don't have to worry about spending too much time trying to record down the parts that you don't get. Right now we're focusing on the listening, so you don't want to take too much time trying to break down the parts that you don't understand. Just make a quick note of it, move on, and we're going to come back here later in another step. Once you get to the end of the listening, you should now have a list of things that you can mark down showing, okay, I didn't understand here, I didn't understand at this time, I didn't understand right here. And now this is going to lead us into the next step. The next step is going to be you just going back and listening to those timestamps. What you want to do here is try to figure out or guess what was being said in those parts that you didn't understand from before. So find the first timestamp that you wrote before, see if you can guess what's going on in just that section. You don't want to focus on going too far ahead. Just focus on that one section and see if you can kind of make out a little bit more about what is being said right here. And like I said, just listen to that one section and take a guess. And it's very important that you stay focused on this one section because it's going to help you lock in and really get focused on what's going on right here. Not thinking about what happened before, not thinking about what happened after. Just lock in on what's happening right here, right now, and it might be a little bit easier for you to pick out what's being said. So without overwhelming yourself by thinking about everything, you can think about that one thing. Just see if you are able to understand that one part that you are focusing on right now. And once you think you have it down, go on to the next timestamp. So go through each timestamp one by one, guessing, and see if you can find out what's being said here. You can take notes here of what you think is being said, and then also try to see if you can find out what is actually being said. Also, this is the section where you may need help trying to understand something. So if there's something that you really don't get or you can't understand, it's okay to ask for help in this step. So if you have a teacher or a friend that can help you, now is the time. And then this is going to lead us into that next step, which is, what is the context? So here, you should be thinking about the parts that are before the section that you're thinking about, and also the parts that are after the section that you're thinking about, as well as the overall general point of this video or podcast that you're listening to. So now you may have a little bit more understanding about what was happening in those certain sections before, but just like in life, you don't know everything, and this is where the context really becomes important. And this is why I want you to go back to those sections that are before and after, because it's going to give you a little more context so that you can connect that section that you're trying to understand in your head with what's happening before, what's happening after, and this is going to be a good way that you can figure out a little bit more about what's happening in that section, or why what's happening in that section is happening. A lot of things are easier to understand when you know the context, and that's why it's very important for you to know what's happening overall in this video. Now, if you understand the overall context of the video, this is gonna help your understanding, and it's gonna give you a little bit more information about the things that you are missing before when you first listen to the section. And this is going to lead us into the final step for today, which is going to be to listen to the video or podcast one more time to make that you understand what was being said. And I think this step is important because it's going to give you a little more confidence about what you just listened to and what you now understand. It will also give you one last time to recognize what you had learned before, and the 4 steps that were leading up to this have played an important part of you getting to this point. This final step is your review, and this will help to make sure that it sticks in your head if you're able to understand the sections from before. And now you will be reinforcing what you learned from before. It is always good to double check that you have everything down. I think you will also notice that you'll be able to pick up more and more because you have an overall better understanding of what you are listening to now, since you have gone through these 5 steps. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If there's something that you didn't understand, you can also do the same 5 steps to go back through this video and make sure that you can get everything down so you have full understanding of what was talked about today. If you're interested in more ways that you can learn English, how about check out this video that I'll leave right here. It's going to give you different ways that you can use the greeting, "How are you?" Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you.